What's going on, everybody? This is Sai from Forge Physio. Today we're going over the dumbbell RDL into row. So you can do this with a dumbbell, you can do it with a barbell, you can do it with kettlebells. Doesn't really matter. Same technique applies across the entire spectrum. So we're just going into a hinge position, holding that bottom position, performing a row, horizontal row, pulling motion, and then we're going to stand back up. So when I'm doing my RDL, I want to be mindful of my foot pressure, my knees, and making sure that I'm moving in my hips. So a lot of times we see people turn this into a squatting pattern to where as they lower to the ground, their knees and their hips are bending the same amount. We want to get our knees in relatively a fixed position. We want to rotate through our hip joints, being able to keep our low back in that neutral position. So picking up the dumbbells, I'm going to go from the top and take a big deep breath in. Bracing by expanding my rib cage kind of out. What I mean by that is a lot of people, when they go to brace, they're just sucking their belly button in. We want to create expansion 3D, so out from the side and then kind of front to back. So another way to think about that is not bearing down on your belly button, but if you were to put a belt around your belly and it was like one notch too loose, you're pushing everything out into that belt. So a big deep breath. Then I'm going to have equal foot pressure with a little bit of bias into my heel joint. I'm going to go into that hinge position, coming down, keeping my spine in neutral or flat. I'm going to go through the rowing variation, back to the bottom, and I'm going to stand up, finish with my glutes, finishing nice and tall without overarching my low back. So again, down to that bottom hinge position, equal foot pressure throughout my foot, going through the rowing variation, back to the bottom, stand up, engage the glutes nice and tall. When you're doing the row, you want to make sure that you're keeping your elbow about a fist width from your sides. That's the other compensation that we see in this movement or in rows in general, is that people will pull and row with their elbows super close to their side. And when they do that, it really locks up their shoulder blade and they end up doing the movement with their arm and not getting the muscles on the back. The point of a rowing motion is to be able to hit the musculature on your back, and as a byproduct you will get a little bit of arm work at the same time. So key points is going to be equal foot pressure. My knees are going to stay relatively fixed. I'm going to move around my hip joint. Elbows are going to stay about a fist width from my side. I'm going to perform the rowing variation, and I'm standing back up toward the top, finishing with my glutes nice and tall. Again, this can be done with dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells. You can even progress this to like a single limb type thing if you're trying to create a little bit of anti-rotation by using a dumbbell or kettlebell and doing it one-armed.